Welcome everybody. We are just setting up the shipping with EasyPost webinar. It's nice to see everybody. I can see a bunch of people already have joined us. My name is Philip. I'm on the support team. I have done numerous of these already, so you may have seen my face before, but we are joined by two people who have never done a webinar before. So we are hosted by lovely Adrianna here and Finn. I don't know if you both want to introduce yourselves quickly and say hello.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Adrian. I'm also part of the support team here. Nice to see all of your names in our chat.
Yeah, hey, and I'm Finn. I'm part of the sales team, and I already at inFlow for like 2 years. And yeah, like Phil said, my first webinar.
We will get started here. So again, my name is Philip, and welcome to everyone here. We've got Adrianna and Finn both on here, so we will try and if you put any of your questions in the chat, we will try and read them out and answer them. We do have a Q&A spot at the end as well too, so we're going to kind of go over the slides first. So our today's topics, we're kind of going to quickly go over what EasyPost is, what you need to be able to use it, how to set it up, and then the differences of using it between our desktop client on the Windows software or through the web app. And then we will do a demo of both so I can show you kind of the setup from it as well as using it as well. So we can jump right in. EasyPost and inFlow. So this was actually one of the most common feature requests that we got was to have a shipping integration. But kind of where this came from was what carrier should we prioritize? We have customers all across the world. So who are we supposed to partner with? Like USPS, Canada Post, UPS, FedEx. This is where EasyPost actually came in. So it's kind of like a one-stop solution to connect with all of these different carriers. So essentially, the carriers connect, or you connect your carrier accounts to EasyPost itself, and then that connects to inFlow, which then would let you buy shipping labels directly from within inFlow, but you're still buying them directly from your carrier accounts. I see Malcolm asking, is this webinar for cloud or desktop? So this is for inFlow Cloud. With inFlow Cloud, we do have both the Windows application as well as the web application that you can access it from. It does not compatible with inFlow on premise, if that's what you're wondering. So as I mentioned already, kind of before, that EasyPost supports a lot of different carriers. This is actually kind of just a small fraction of them, but essentially they are kind of like the hub that everything else can connect to. So you log in, create an account with EasyPost, and then you can actually log into all these different accounts through there, which then again makes it kind of that central hub. So inFlow can connect to there and then get access to all of them. And you can see a full list of all the different carriers. Again, they have lots of different ones in each different country by going to that link right there on the website. Now, what you need to be able to do this, you do need to have an inFlow Cloud account, obviously, but then basically, besides that, it does not count towards the integration limits, and it is available to all customers. So there's no tier level or anything like that that you need to be on. So we are happy to be able to make this available to everyone. You do need to set up an EasyPost account, which does have a free setup, so there's no additional charges for that, and that includes up to 10,000 shipments per month. And then essentially you just need to have all your different accounts with your different shipping companies. So like UPS or FedEx or Canada Post or any of those other different shipping companies, because that's what you're going to connect to EasyPost. So one quick, like kind of a caveat or good thing to know, if you are in the US, EasyPost automatically gives you access to a USPS and a DHL Express account. These are ones that they've negotiated like specific terms already with. So they may have, depending on the size of your business, they may have better or like better rates than what you might be able to get just regularly if you were going to them directly. So you can buy them directly through your EasyPost account, in which case you do have to set up like billing and everything on your EasyPost because it'll be billed directly through them. Otherwise, all other shipping carriers, you're just going to link directly to EasyPost and it's going to bill you the same way that you normally would if you were buying it directly from them. how do you actually set up EasyPost? Setting it up is actually really easy. Essentially, you just go to easypost.com where you'll have to sign up for a free account, like we mentioned. Again, so this is just really easy. Your information, so name, last name, email, phone number, and then creating a password. You'll do the normal verification steps and everything like that, like any other company, but basically that's all you need to get it set up. And then essentially to connect it to inFlow, the main thing that you'll need from EasyPost is actually something called an API key. Essentially what this is like a special token or a special generated characters that are specific only to your account. And this is what you're going to need to actually enter into inFlow to allow it access to your EasyPost account. So you're not actually like using inFlow to log into your EasyPost or anything like that. You're just taking this special code that is specific to only your account, putting it into inFlow, and that gives us access. This you can get to really easily by logging into your EasyPost account at any time. You click on your email address at the top left, so number 1 there, and then click on API keys, and you're going to actually get 2 different ones in here. So EasyPost is really nice. They give you both what they call a production API key and a test API key. The production key is what you're going to use when you're ready to actually start buying like real labels and purchasing and creating them and sending things out in the world. The test API key is actually something that you can put in if you just want to kind of see what everything is going to look like. And that way you can actually test things out before you're really actually making purchases. Now, we'll see this once we get to it, but when you are setting up your inFlow and EasyPost connection, there are a few additional settings that are kind of optional that you can go in and set, and we'll go over them again kind of a bit more in detail when we get to them, but the main ones that I kind of just wanted to highlight are that you do have the option to record the shipping costs on your sales orders automatically. So you can choose to have the label and the insurance should be recorded on your sales order. This is not recorded by default, but you can choose to have it either show as like in like the non-vendor cost or on the actual invoice itself, like in the freight field. You can also save parcel sizes, so you can create presets so that it makes it a little faster. And when you're creating each time, because I'm assuming usually you're going to have kind of like default size boxes. The VAT or tax ID, if you do have one, if you do enter it in, it's going to automatically save it to your account and then pre-fill it when you're buying shipping labels the next time. Again, just kind of like as like a convenience feature. And then shipment confirmation email. This lets you choose if you want to actually send like an email to your customer when the label is entered into the carrier system. So it's not when you generate it, but it's when the carrier first picks it up, I guess, kind of thing. You can also have that CC'd to like your email if you want, so that you can keep track of it as well. Okay. So we can actually demo how all this works. Do we have any questions that we need to get to before we start showing it off?
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
2 questions. One about like how the shipping costs are recorded, and there are different ways how you can record it. So the first one, Jordan, it would be possible to auto-populate them into the freight field. That's one option. The other option would be for Michael here to record them in the non-customer cost field, and then they wouldn't be visible for the customer on the invoice. Alternative would be not to auto-populate them at all and just leave them, like not push them into the sales order.
We did have an earlier question from Michael as well. If we can characterize some of the differences between EasyPost and ShipStation.
That's a good question. I personally have never used ShipStation, so I'm not sure what the differences between it would be. I don't know if either of you have experience with it.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I thought about it, and I went to Google and I had a look if I can find something right now. But I think so. What I know is we integrated with EasyPost because it's more like for developers. So as you see when you use EasyPost, the EasyPost integration later, you only have to go to EasyPost once, set it up, and from there on everything will happen in inFlow. And I think this is one of the choices why we went with EasyPost and one of the main differences as well. Also, as far as I know, there is some additional cost connected with ShipStation, where you have a sign-up fee and also more fees for buying labels. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I read right now. And I think those are a couple of the reasons why we went with EasyPost.
Perfect. Cool. Thank you very much for that, Finn. Okay, so sorry, oops, that switched over. So quickly, we'll just show. So with EasyPost, again, there we go. This is, you would go to easypost.com to sign up for a free account on here. When you're actually logged into your inFlow account, all you need to do is you can either go to your menu up at the top left here, down to options, then under company, we have the shipping section. So this is what we added a little while back for the EasyPost integration here. And from here, you can actually, this is where you're going to do everything for your EasyPost connection. Here, you click Manage Shipping. So on this account, I haven't set it up or anything, and it's going to give you some of your basic information telling you kind of what it is and how to use it. We click Setup. And so it's going to try and walk you through pretty much every step as well. So we can kind of go through it quickly here. So first things first, it's going to say create an account with EasyPost. If you click on the arrow, it'll actually open up EasyPost itself. On that page, again, where you need to create your account. I already have one, so I can log in. See if I actually remember my password, because I have so many different ones. There we go. And so I've already got my my account set up. Now this little check mark, if you are just checking this out or anything, just a quick little note, we don't actually know if you've created an account with EasyPost, so this will always check mark off if you've clicked that button. So if you do come back another time or anything like that, you can still click on it. It'll still take you to that. But so the next step is, again, entering that EasyPost API key. So again, instead of needing to log into your account, we need to enter this API key to actually give us access to the account. So again, we click on the little arrow. It's going to ask for the API key here, and it's showing us here again, go to your EasyPost API key. I can click this. It'll actually take us directly to the API page if you're already logged in. Again, if you're not, it's no big deal. If you're on, you go into your EasyPost account, you click on your email address, and then just down to API keys. So you can get this really easily. You can always get to here. And then basically, again, you've got your production API key up here and your test API key down here. So again, this is the one that you would put in if you're ready. You actually want to buy labels. This is going to be like your live thing. So you're actually going to be spending money. Otherwise, if you use this test one, it'll just create like fake voided labels and stuff that you can actually test. So for this purpose right now, I'm just going to click copy here for the test one. I can paste it in here and then hit connect. And so it's actually going to show the EasyPost API key is connected. We've got the little check mark, and it actually does tell you whether you're using the test one or a production one. So this way, it's just kind of like a quick little easy way to make sure that that you know which one you're using. You can always come back to here, and you can always come back in and then change this. So you can always change it from your test one to your production one as well. So we click the little back button. And then they're saying to set your carrier account. So this is the last thing that you would actually need to do with EasyPost before you've got everything set up on their side. Again, this will just open up a link in EasyPost itself, and this is where you would actually go through and find any of the carrier accounts that you have with different shipping companies. So again, like if I had a FedEx account, or if I have any of these other ones like Purelator or something like that, I'm going to pick these accounts here while I'm in EasyPost, and you're going to log into that account, which is giving EasyPost the access to it, and you're going to add all of them in there. Any of the carrier accounts you add to here is what you'll see like costs and rates for in inFlow when you're going to purchase your labels. So once you've done that, we can hit next. And then lastly, it's that option that I was mentioning before about the shipment confirmation email. So we can click on it. By default, we're going to send the shipment confirmation email to the customer. So again, this is once it's scanned into the carrier system. and then that gives them like the tracking information and everything, so they can keep track of their shipment. And then you can optionally click this send a copy of the confirmation email, and you can then put in any email address that you would want. So like if you have a warehouse manager or somebody or a shipment manager that's keeping track of these things, you can put in their email address, and that way they can get these confirmations as well. You can also put multiple email addresses. So like if I did Philip at inflowinventory.com, I could also put a comma in here and do like Philip2 at inflowinventory.com, if I could spell. And then, yeah, so then this way you can have multiple email addresses in there that'll each get the confirmation. That's pretty much it. All that you need to do to actually connect to EasyPost. So you click complete. It's going to say your shipping setup is complete. And then basically you can either be click close setup here, which is basically you're done with it and you can start creating those labels. Or you can click this explore settings, which will give you those extra options that I kind of highlighted before. So if I click those extra options, you can see right in here, this is where we're now talking about those different things. Like if you want to record your shipping costs. So right now it's set to non-customer cost. So this is setting it on your sales order. It is recording it, but it's putting it in a spot that's not going to actually affect the total. So you can it'll still take it into effect for like your cost on or like your profit on your sales order. But then you could instead change it to freight if you wanted. So that would actually then make it a fee that would affect the total of the sales order, or you could have it not recorded at all. So again, you can kind of choose any of those options. Excuse me, sorry about that. The next option here, we have save parcel sizes. So again, right now I have none saved, but if we click on it, you can give them a name. So this would be like box 1. You can pick which measurement you want to have your boxes in, but let's just say we have a 4x4x4 box. Hit save size, and now I've actually got this box pre-saved into the system so that when I am creating those labels, you can have these preset box sizes in there. If you want to remove it, you can click the little X, or you can just click add saved if you want to do another one. We could do box 2, which is instead maybe 8x8x8 or something like that. And again, this way you can have these already pre-populated to make things a little faster. Here again, the VAT or tax ID.
Yes.
So if you do,
Sorry
Yep,
to
go right
interrupt.
ahead.
Just real quick. There was a question in the chat, how many parcel sizes can be saved if there's a limit? And as far as I know, there's no limit, right?
No, there shouldn't be a limit. I mean, the more you have, you'll have like a longer list that you'll have to scroll through, kind of thing. But that would be the only
Yeah.
thing. Otherwise, you can manually enter the box sizes every time you're doing a shipment. So if you have various different sizes every single time, then you could always do that as well. So whatever is faster or easier for you.
Yeah, and that kind of answers Chip's question. So you don't necessarily have to save them.
Sure.
Thanks.
But I think also to Chip's question there, can we skip parcel size? EasyPost does require that you have a parcel size on there, so you can't. You do have to have both a size and a weight entered in there, just because I believe some of the carriers must require it as well, kind of thing. So yeah, so your VAT or tax ID, if you have one, you can click it. Here you can actually enter it in, and again, if you have it here, it'll pre-populate on your shipping labels. Again, we have that shipping confirmation email option, so if you want to go back and you want to change it, you can always come back in here and edit it. And then basically, if you do ever need to change your API key, you've got it there. And if you need to get back to like your carriers or different things like that, again, these ones are all just linking to EasyPost pages itself, so they're not actually changing anything in inFlow. They're just kind of convenience things there. And that's really all the settings that there are for it. So basically, once we've done all this, we've got everything completely set. If you ever need to get back and change any of these again, you just come back into your options, either through menu options or down here to company. And you can click that shipping, manage shipping. And now that we've already put in our API key and everything like that, it remembers everything else. So you can always go in here and modify anything as you need. Okay, so with that all set, then basically creating an actual shipment itself, or creating a label, sorry, you would want to create like a sales order. So here I'm just using like a test database that we have with some sunglasses and glasses, but we can create an order. Now, once you have EasyPost enabled, from I guess user testing when we were setting up the integration and everything, most people that we had talked to had said that if they ship things out, they're basically always going to want to create a label. So once the EasyPost connection is set up, as long as you have shipping turned on, as soon as you go to actually fulfill and ship the order, it's going to pop up and give you the option to ship that. So right now we can hit fulfill, and it's going to give us the option. So we'll see. We actually added a new kind of like step in here. It used to go from like half to full. Now we've got like a 3/4 on the radio here, and now it's actually coming up giving me the shipment details. So again, we've tried to make this as simple as possible, that it's going to take as much information as it can that inFlow has already to pre-populate things for you. So we've got the like the from and the to locations automatically pulled from like your customers information, as well as any company information that you have set for yourself. And it'll again fill in kind of like your address, their address, anything like that. If you do need to change anything, you can always click edit beside it, and then you'll get an option to be able to change everything on there. And you can also request like if signatures are required for the delivery. And then, so I don't need to change that. Again, we do.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, Phil. Just real quick before you continue, because we had a couple questions about like this pop-up over here, if you can have it only for some specific orders. But as Phil mentioned, like at the moment, it's like if you have shipping activated, it will always pop up. And then at the bottom down there, you have like skip, no label. That's one option. Alternative would be if you don't want to have shipping label or don't ship this item, just deactivate the shipping, and then you won't have this pop-up. Then you don't have to click the skip label button. But in general, as long when you have the EasyPost integration and you have shipping activated, you will always have this pop-up at the moment.
Yep, that's perfect. That's exactly right. So yeah, if you're not shipping it out or something like that, just toggle off the shipping on the sales order itself, and it won't pop up with it. Or you do that skip no label right there, just like Finn mentioned. So yeah, so then we would enter in our parcel weight. So I mean, we can say this is 2 pounds or something like that. And here you have your preset options. So again, I created those different boxes, or you can enter in manually if you need like a different size. And right from here, you can actually save them as well too. So you don't have to go to your settings and save it if you do want to save it for this time. So we could say like save parcel size. We can name this one box 3. Make it, I don't know, 6 by 6 by 6. Oh, and we do actually try and convert the things as well here too to try and make it easier. So depending what you're entering in, you just need to kind of make sure. I can click save, and there you go. Now I've got an actual a third one saved in there, and I can choose any of these whenever I'm creating a shipment. We can click next. Oh, I don't have a country picked here, so we'll just say Canada and a name. So with that, we do kind of also, so if you are missing any information, it won't let you continue. So if EasyPost is going to require something, we're not going to let you have like an error kind of that way. So everything is set to kind of pop up just like you saw there, where it'll give you like a little warning. You have to fix it, and then you can move on to the next step. Now, if you're shipping internationally or anything and you need customs or clearance, you can toggle this little option on here on the next step. And here, this is going to give you all the different options that are required to fill out if you are doing something that requires customs. These could vary based off of each different country, each different carrier, anything like that. So I would just suggest fill in everything that you can. Again, kind of the convenience things, we will try to pre-populate. So like the value contents, we're actually putting in the product information. If you have a description already and stuff, it'll already be in there. And if you do have to use the HS codes, if I put one in here for say this product Banshee and I do ship it out, the next time that this product comes up, it will have remembered that and it'll automatically have that populated. So next time you hopefully don't have to re-enter it, but you would have to enter it at least once so that the system knows what it is. So yeah, so then you go through all the different options on here. This one, I mean, we don't need custom, so I can just skip that. And then here it's going to actually kind of go in and try and pull up from the list of carriers that you have on your account. Now mine, I'm getting different errors. This is probably because this probably isn't actually a real address. This is probably US.
Yeah, I think this is a US address, and also you probably have to activate customs then because you're shipping to a Canadian.
Yeah.
Or you're shipping from a Canadian company to a
to a US.
US company or something. Yeah.
So yeah, so here, I mean, otherwise it's just going to come up and give you the actual different rates. So I think we could probably just change this to.
Yeah, so that's something. So as you saw, it won't show you the labels if you're shipping internationally but don't have the customs information added, because EasyPost won't allow you to buy labels in that case. Yeah, and therefore we'll have to change it to be a Canadian address.
Oh, it still doesn't like that. Oh, because it's using US carriers. I didn't add any Canadian carriers, so they're not finding actual ones because these are Canadian addresses. So, but it would actually then come up and give you the different prices and stuff like that, which you'd be able to then pick, and then you'd be able to purchase the label. I would just have to get 2 US addresses. Give me 1 sec.
You could log into my database as well, but it's super messy because I use it every day.
Yeah.
Because there I have like 2 American, I have the company address is American and the customer address as
Sure.
well.
This should work. Okay. Up to from.
We also have a question in chat right now, I see. If the reference fields on the shipment label can be populated with data from the sales order, such as sales order number and billing code. As far as I know, that's not possible. Those fields don't sync. Is that right, Phil?
Yeah, unfortunately, at this time, you can't have extra fields going into the into like the shipping labels or anything like that. It is something that we can definitely put in as like a feature request, and possibly it'll be something that we could add in the future. But unfortunately, yeah, at the moment, right now, no. But yeah, there we go. So now that we see, I have fixed or now it's 2 US addresses. So these are actually finding different rates based off of the different times. It'll give you the estimated amount of time. So USPS for this price, 3 days, or 1 day for that price. You can then sort it by priority or price. And then you can also filter by the different carriers or anything like that. So like USPS or UPS. So that way you can easily find the ones that you want to get. So let's just say we wanted to choose this one. So we'll get a kind of summary of everything just to make sure before we actually go ahead and purchase. Now, again, remember we're on the test API, so it's not actually going to charge me real money or anything like that. But if it were, it's going to be $8.30. That's going to get charged to the USPS account or UPS account. But we can click purchase label. It's going to buy it, and then this is essentially what you would get if you had actually purchased a full label. So it's going through. You're going to get the tracking ID. This is what the customer is going to get emailed once it gets picked up from the carrier itself. If you click on them, it'll actually open up in a new window. Obviously, this is not a real one, but this is kind of what the default thing from EasyPost looks like. So it gives them the estimated delivery date, the tracking number with the actual carrier, so they could go to their website if they wanted to, and then it'll give them any kind of updates on there as well. You can again see here if the confirmation email, so where it's going to, the packing slip. So if you need to come in here and print off, so this is as like a PDF. You can choose whether you want it to print like landscape on 8.5 by 11 paper or on an A6 4-inch by 6-inch page, and that's what your label itself is going to look like, your shipping label. And again, kind of just more summary on here. We do have a little note at the bottom, so if you do need to return or cancel a label, we can't do it through inFlow itself. You do have to actually log into your EasyPost dashboard, and from there you'll see all your different shipments that you've done with all your different carriers, and that you can cancel them from there. But you do have to keep in mind each carrier has their own different return policies, so depending on their policies, you may or may not be able to cancel or return or get your full money back or anything like that. But essentially, once you've done this, you can print it here, click done, and now we're going to see that our product has actually been fully shipped. If we go under our ship tab, we can see that it's been created out there. You can click on the little track button, and that'll actually give you your tracking information, just like we had gotten from that other screen. Or if you click on view shipping details down here, you can actually see your box numbers, your date, your carrier, the tracking number. And if you click this details button, it'll actually bring you back to that same label in case, say, you needed to print it again or look up something. You can find all that information still on here. You can also resend the confirmation email. So if you needed to send that again. The last kind of thing that you would need to know, so if you did need to, for any reason, remove this shipment from inFlow, so if you needed to unfulfill it or anything like that, coming back into this detail page, so again, going into from the sales orders, the ship tab, to the shipping details, and then clicking this little arrow, you can then remove the shipment from inFlow. This is going to take the label off of it, which would then let you unfulfill or unship the order in inFlow. As long as you have a label generated and printed and attached to an item, you will not be able to remove it. So if I try and go back to like the sales order or like the pick tab or something and try and take this off, yeah, it's saying you need to remove it from the ship tab, which I'm not going to be able to because it's got a label attached to it.
Oh,
I think you're
can't
muted,
hear you
Phil.
there.
Sorry,
There
there
you
we go. Yeah, sorry, I was just seeing if there were any other questions right now.
I think we
There
got all of
was one
them.
more that you already answered. Yeah, I think you answered all of them that we had.
Okay, perfect. So now we can quickly go into this is, so we've been doing everything in the web app for inFlow, but it's mostly the same in the Windows program. But just to quickly show it.
Yeah, so I see Marge just wanted us to repeat the answer to Chip's question here. So Chip's question was, can the reference fields on the shipping label be populated with data from the sales order, such as the sales order number and billing code? So at this time, we actually don't have that feature, but we can definitely reach out to our product team to see if we can add that in the future as well.
Okay. So yeah, so this is the same order in the Windows program versus the Windows app, the browser app. You'll notice everything's pretty much the same. So I mean, we have everything filled out the same. When you go under the ship tab, you'll still have that same option to track. So you can click on it. It should open up the tracking information, just like you did on the web application. We do also have the shipping details spot down here. So you can, again, click it, you'll see your box number, your ship date, and everything, and you can click details. And this screen itself is exactly the same as what you're doing on the web app. So in terms of like your actual label and everything else, it is all the same. So we've tried to make it as similar between the two different products as possible. It's just obviously the layout in the Windows program is a little bit different, but your same information is all still there.
Could you, sorry, Phil, could you go back to shipping details real quick? Because
Sure.
we had a question here from Michael who didn't, I think he didn't really see this screen. So on this screen, there's where you can see the carrier and the tracking number. So this is also carried over on the shipping details. It's not on the sales order itself. It's under shipping details.
On the shipping details.
Yeah, if that answers your question.
Perfect. The other thing that we did add to try and make this this whole process again a little smoother is we do realize that a lot of our customers will have different locations that you sell from or ship out of, and so we've actually added an option that you can now set a location per like an address per location that you have in inFlow. So this is again something that you would access through your company settings. Um, Under locations, you can actually go manage locations. So this is where you would normally see and access all your different locations. So this is where you're storing your different inventory numbers inside inFlow. We now have this little arrow beside it that if you click onto, you can actually add an address. So for each different location, you can go in, you can type, you can add your own specific addresses for these. And whenever then you're on the sales order itself, here, if you switch to a different location, it'll pre-populate this shipping address with the address that you've saved onto there. If you don't set one on these locations, it will use your company's default address. So like your actual accounts information. So like here, I've got under the company details 260 Carlisle, which is what it's using on the shipping on the sales order itself. Except that I changed it. But otherwise, yeah, you can set then a specific one per location.
We have two really interesting questions in the chat. So one, if we can do multiple orders into one shipment, and the other one is if we can do like multiple shipments in one order. So it's not possible to put multiple orders into one shipment. That's not possible at the moment. So for that, you would have to combine the orders somehow and then create one shipping label for them. But you can split one order into multiple shipments into different boxes. You can even have like a EasyPost shipment and a manual shipment if you have parts of the order that you ship through your own carriers or whatsoever. So that's possible. So you can break that down.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly like Finn said. So basically, if you are doing, you need multiple shipping labels for the same order. So I just added on another product onto here that hasn't been fulfilled. When you're under your, so let me just pick it. Oops, we got it picked. When you're in the shipping spot, so in here, you'll see that you actually have this box number field on here. If you have, so if I had these both set as one, before I had created that label, it's going to then store that in there and they would both be considered in the same thing. If you actually put these under different box numbers, it's going to then give you the option to buy a separate label per box that you have on here. When you're going through the whole process, it'll just automatically go from one to the next. So if you've already set up that you have, say, 2 or 3 boxes or whatever like that, your label purchasing, it'll just go through and ask you the information for each box separately. You put that in, and then you'll be able to purchase the labels and then print them out for each one.
Awesome. We had another question from Kelly here. Is there a way to set multiple locations for a sales order? They use this for picking and some orders that require more than one location to be chosen. So currently they're creating multiple sales orders because they do not know how to choose multiple locations.
So to do that, actually, when you're on your sales order itself, you go under the pick tab. And from here in this picks tab, you can actually choose the location that you're choosing, taking that stock from. So you can pick to take it from different warehouses or physical locations this way. I have never myself actually tried putting a different location with a different address on here and then creating a label. So I'm not 100% positive if it would automatically pre-populate that. Like, so if you did have different addresses saved for these, it may still take the one that's on here. But that's something we can definitely test and get back to you, because I have never actually thought of trying that. But yes, but you can definitely set different locations for where you're taking it rather than create separate sales orders. Okay, so I believe that is mostly everything in terms of how to actually do all this. Again, with even in the Windows app, if you did need to remove the label, you would click on the shipping details, go down, it'll give you an option to remove the shipment from inFlow. And again, that's the only way to actually like unfulfill an order. So besides that, we've created the labels, we've got them all going, and you'd be able to ship them all out. Now, we did have a question for everybody in the before we kind of open it up, if there are any last questions or anything like that. But quick question for everybody that is in the chat here: what printers do you use for your actual shipping labels right now? If you know the model and brand, that would be really helpful to us. Our marketing team and some of our other product teams and stuff are got some other ideas cooking, and not knowing this kind of information would actually be really useful. So if you have any, if you know either of them, that you could let us know, that would definitely help us out, and we would appreciate that.
Awesome. I see we have some Zebra printers in the chat. That one's come up a lot. Rolo printer, I haven't personally seen that one.
Cool. I see Michael's got them all: Zebra, Dymo, and HP. So yeah, so while you still put those in, again, if anyone does have knows the label maker and printer models that they have, let us know. If there are any other specific questions, we can definitely try and answer them, or go over again. If you want us to show you anything else, we can definitely try and do that as well too.
We do have a question from Chip. So can you change the billing shipping charges to option on the fly to bill receiver or bill third party?
So built directly into it, no. We do not have an option at the moment to change it to third party. You would have to do that directly through, I guess, either like through the carrier, like your carrier billing.
I see we have another label printer, Arc Scan. Haven't heard of that one personally.
Cool. I will, Chip, also put that in as a feature request. I'm not sure if that's something that we have the capabilities of doing with EasyPost. It may or may not be like a technical limitation, but it's definitely something that I'm sure other people would be able to find useful too. So, so we do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sure, the term non-customer cost for sure. So yeah, essentially in your sales orders themselves, you've got a few different extra fields that you can find on here. So non-customer costs we have down here at the bottom. In this case, you can see it actually populated it with 1092. This is essentially then any costs related to this order that do not actually affect this total. So this 1092 does not change the subtotal, the total itself. If I had taxes or anything on here, it's not going to be taxed. It's not going to do anything like that. But when inFlow is calculating the profit that you're making on this sales order, it will consider that as a cost against the profit. So it'll decrease that profit on there. So this is one of the locations that you could pick to have those charges go. And again, that would be a non-customer reflecting cost. So this is not going to print on the invoice or anything like that either. That's more just for your own records that you can save it. If you wanted instead, you could put it in the freight field here. So like if I put 1092 here instead, you're going to see that the total is actually changing. And again, like if I had tax or anything like that, the tax could then be charged on that. That is an option in our tax settings. You can have it either charge on freights or not. And so again, this would be a customer-facing cost then. So the customer themselves would actually be paying for that, and it's affecting the actual total of the invoice itself. So those are kind of the two different options there. Or you can have the labels not show up at all on the sales order if that's not needed to be tracked. Cool. And same idea goes in the Windows app too. Same thing. You got the non-customer cost there and freight. We try and keep things close to each other, but they do look fairly different, I know. So sometimes it can be difficult to keep track of everything. Okay. Well, it seems like we got most of the models and everything like that in there, and doesn't seem like too many other questions are coming in. So I did want to just say thank you to everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you found something useful, and hopefully you will give shipping with EasyPost a try with inFlow. And again, if you do have any questions, if you need anything else from us, you can always reach us at support@inflowinventory.com. We are happy to help out with any questions you may have. We also love to hear feedback. So again, if you have suggestions or again like feature requests, like we've had a few here already, definitely send them in to us. The more people kind of ask for these things, the obviously the more we can kind of improve the system. So we do also tentatively right now, our next webinar for next month is scheduled to be going over connecting inFlow with Xero, which is an accounting integration that we recently added. So stay tuned for a specific date on that. But yeah, besides that, I just want to say thank you. And thank you to Adrianna and Finn for helping out.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for running
Thanks,
it,
Phil.
Phil. It was an awesome job. And thanks for saving me in the chat a few times as well, Finn.
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Again, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will all talk to you again very soon.
Take
Thanks,
care, guys.
guys.
All right. Take care.